Spark plug wires, distributor cap and rotor are out. These are only a few years old. They can't be bad already. Cylinder 1 wire, 3,000 kiloohms.
Looking good!
Cylinder 2 wire, 0.5 milliohms.
That ain't right!
Cylinder 3 wire, 3,000 kiloohms.
That's a bingo!
Cylinder 4 wire.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome to the channel, and hello to any new viewers, and welcome back to any of my subscribers or return viewers. I am still on my 1987 Porsche 944 Turbo. I seem to be having some issues with my 3-year-old BERU spark plug wires. And here they are, the set of BERU spark plug wires that I bought about 3 years ago, right around the time when I first bought the car. These are one of the first things that I had replaced. And according to my testing with my multimeter, 2 of these wires are not testing where they're supposed to be. So I believe it was cylinders 1 and 3 were at the 3,000 kiloohm level that they're supposed to be, but the wires on cylinders 2 and 4 were definitely out of spec. Cylinder 2 was something like 0.5 mega ohms, and cylinder 4 showed an open loop, which I don't know how the car was not totally sputtering if this was truly an open loop, but regardless, I went through and I bought some new ones. I'm not going to take any chances. I've replaced almost everything else in this engine bay, so I bought a new set. And here is everything that I purchased. So I went beyond just the spark plugs. I want to make sure that everything within the ignition system is basically brand new. So I have a new BERU rotor, a new Bosch distributor cap, 4 new Bosch copper spark plugs, and a set of brand new BERU spark plug wires. I also got a new gasket as well as this dust cover, but the ones I have on the car are still fairly new and they're sealing just fine, and I don't want to have to go through and put these on, especially these because they're put on with a stickum. I'll just keep these for a later date. So the first thing I want to do is take out these BERU wires, stick them next to the old ones, and I want to test these before I put them back in the car. All right, so here is the box, and here is the part number for those who need to know. I bought this entire kit from 944 online, obviously not sponsored, but it was just quick and easy. I was able to buy everything just within one purchase transaction. So I am going to take these out and set them next to the other wires. Okay, so here they are all laid out, and I have blue tape on the old wires so I don't mix them up, although the new ones kind of have like a little powdery substance on them. So I don't know what the appropriate readings are for the ignition coil to distributor cap wire, so I'm just going to replace that. I'm not going to bother testing it. So let's start with the spark plug wire for cylinder 1. So obviously it is showing open loop right now, so I will touch these together and see what the resistance is. All right, so the new wire for cylinder 1 tests right at 3,000 kiloohms, so that one is good. Now here is for cylinder 2, and that is also right at 3,000 kiloohms. So already we can tell that there is a difference between the new wire and the old wire for cylinder 2. So let's look at cylinder 3, and once again 3,000 kiloohms. So cylinder 3 looks good, and cylinder 4, and 3,000 kiloohms for cylinder 4. So I think it is safe to say that I had 2 bad spark plug wires. I'm going to assume that that must have had some sort of negative consequence with the engine running, especially when combined with my bad ignition coil, which I showed in my previous video. All right, so now it is time to install these brand new Bosch plugs. I am going to check for the gap on these plugs. The last NGK set that I got off of Amazon were gapped at 30 thousandths when they should be, I believe, around 26. So I'm going to verify that. I'm going to get the new rotor and distributor cap installed with a new screw. All right, so those who do not know, while you are installing the distributor cap, these are kind of a pain in the butt because they are spring-loaded hooks in here, one on the bottom and one on the top. And you really need to try to finagle some sort of screwdriver that is the right length to be able to push it in and turn it at the same time. The only way I could figure out to do that is to make sure that this coupler is off of the intercooler. There is also a line right here. It kind of sticks out of the distributor cap. That represents cylinder 1. So this is the port that the cylinder 1 spark plug wire will go on. And the firing order that is shown over here on the cam tower is 1342. So that means that it is cylinder 1, cylinder 3, cylinder 4, cylinder 2, and then obviously the center port is for the line that goes to the ignition coil. All right, so also remember to put some blue Loctite on that tiny screw that holds the rotor. You don't want that screw coming out. So here are the spark plugs, and you probably saw that I recently installed these in one of my previous videos, and already you can see that they are doing that same half charred, or what looks like half charred and half fine on all of them except for cylinder 1, and that only has a little tiny bit right there, but cylinders 2, 3, and 4 definitely showing the same thing as the iridium plugs that I had, showing that like sticky, nasty substance.
Why am I drippings with goo
On them, and half fine. So time to check the gap on those new spark plugs and get them back in the car. And before I put in the spark plugs, I did want to show anyone who was questioning, what about the old distributor cap? So it actually looks like it was fine. There's some black marks, but that is totally normal. And the same with the rotor. There's no like black char lines on there. So I could have reused these, but like I said, I'm putting everything else brand new in the car. I don't want to take any chances. So these were fine, but essentially I'm getting rid of those. And now it is time to check the gap on these new spark plugs. All right, so here's the first one. It might be a little bit tight. I don't know if the camera is going to show this or not, but if you can see, it's right at about 25 thousandths, and it really needs to be around 26. So just going to mess with it a little bit and get it right to 26 right there. And the same with this one. So I'm just going to bend that electrode up just a bit. And now it looks like I went too far, because now it looks like it goes up to about 28. So I'm just going to do a little tap, and that is right at 26. Same with this one. So just giving it a little bit of a bend, and that is right at 26 now. Okay, that one was even tighter. So that one was right about 23 thousandths. So, oh, now I went too far. And now it is right at 26. All right, so the new distributor cap and rotor are installed, as are the new spark plugs. And per the box, those are all torqued down to 21 foot-pounds. So now it's time to get those new spark plug wires in. And I am going to use a little bit of dielectric grease, not on the inside, but on the outside, and I'll show you why. So the part of the spark plug wire that goes into the cylinder head and that goes over the spark plug itself, you really got to make sure that you have a good connection on these when you push it down. A lot of times you think you have it all the way, but it's really not, and you really want to hear that good positive click. But sometimes this rubber boot wants to catch on the inside. It makes it really difficult to push down. So what I do is I put a little dielectric grease around the outside here, so it makes it easier to go down and cover the spark plug. And what I want to show you now is kind of something that probably most 944 owners absolutely dread. But what you're supposed to do is interweave this spark plug wire through the fuel rail, through the fuel dampener, and get it to all of the different spark plugs. And a lot of times you're trying to fish this pretty big end through a lot of really tight spaces. So what I found, and I don't know why I haven't done this in the past, is feed it through on the other side, because this boot is much smaller than that one. So I'm going to feed this through this way and get them all connected to the distributor cap, as opposed to connecting them here first and then trying to get that much larger boot through this bit that is really barely any access. All right, so those new BERU spark plug wires are all installed, and the rest of the engine bay is all reassembled. And if you look really closely right here, I have put the factory airflow meter back in. And the reason I did that is, one, I'm running out of time. There are now 2 weeks left until 944 Fest, and I need to get this car in a position where I can drive it there. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes, but still, I don't want to be left on the side of the road. So what I decided to do was, I need to get this car back into a position of where it was the last time it ran well. And if you've been following this channel for around the past year, you'll remember that about this time last year, I had to replace the short block on this car. I had a very short amount of time to do it, but once it was all done, the car ran exceptionally well. And that was with the factory airflow meter, the factory injectors, and the Lindsay Racing Max chip. So I have gone through and reinstalled the AFM. I have reinstalled the factory injectors. I don't know if you can see them in there, as well as the Lindsay Racing Max chip. But that's where I ran into an issue. I pulled another classic bonehead move. So basically, when I took out the Focus 9 DME to replace the chip from the custom one that I had made by John Behe to the Lindsay Racing Max chip, I was in a rush and I ended up removing the wrong chip.
If I had a rubber hose, I would beat you.
That's right. I replaced the wrong stinking chip in the DME. And unfortunately, when I tried to put that chip back in, I ended up breaking a bunch of the fingers on it. So frantically, I contacted Joe at Focus 9 and I sent my DME over to him to repair it. So in the meantime, I was lucky enough to have a good friend, thank you Mr. Grimaldi, for loaning me a factory DME. I put the Lindsay Racing Max chip in, and now it is time to fire up this car and see how it runs. So here we go again, another attempt to fire up this car and see how it does. So the DME and KLR are still just kind of sitting there for now. I'm going to wait until I get this car sorted before I button that all up. But one of the things that I do want to point out is, because I have a factory style DME back in the car, I no longer have any diagnostic capabilities through the Focus 9 ODB Plus software. I also will not have my air fuel gauge, because that gets its power and ground through the Focus 9 DME. I really don't want to go through the time right now to try to wire up a power and ground to it, so I'm just going to fire up this car and I'm going to see how it runs. I'm not gonna lie, that is the smoothest this thing has fired up in quite some time. The vacuum is still low, so no change there. But honestly, the last time this car ran well, I was getting the same vacuum readings. So honestly, that is kind of low on my priority list right now. But what I am super happy about is how smooth this car seems to be running right now. I am ecstatic right now. This is the best this car has ran in about 9 months. The exhaust sounds really smooth, no pops or bangs. This is fantastic. Now, I guess the question is, why was it running so bad previously? If you go back and watch my videos, really starting from like November of last year up until now, I replaced so many things and spent so much money and so much time on this car, and nothing was making a change. Now, the unfortunate part of this, though, is that once again, I had a 1-year-old Bosch coil and 3-year-old BERU spark plug wires on this car, and they all failed. And I find that extremely disappointing because these are supposed to be reputable brands. If you have a 944 or a 944 turbo, you cannot trust a part that you think is new and should be okay. Go through the steps, test it anyway, because you just don't know. And as for right now, I am going to stick with the stock AFM because the car is running well. And because 944 Fest is only 2 weeks away, I am not going to mess with the Storch math. I may in the future, but I am definitely going to wait until my Focus 9 DME is returned so I'm able to monitor the air fuel level. So my plan for this car is to drive it. So I'm going to try to put about 100 miles on it, and then what I want to do is bring it back into the garage and pull the plugs. That's right, Mr. Grimaldi, we are going to go old school on this. If I can't measure the air-fuel ratio, I'll have to do it the old school way. But that will all come in the next video, where I am going to try my hardest to get that up and live before 944 Fest. I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like. Be sure to subscribe. I am almost at 600 subscribers. After 1 year on YouTube, I'm over halfway to that magic monetize number. Be sure to share this video with your friends, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted the next time I drop a video on this 944 Turbo or some of my other vehicles like the Cayenne GTS, my son's Audi A5, and at some point I need to get on my daughter's 2013 BMW X3. She's going to be driving before I know it, and I need that car running. So I really appreciate every one of you for sticking around, not only on this video, but my series on this 944 Turbo. The saga does continue, and I'll catch you on the next one.